Hello class, I'm Greg Kuhse, and I'm here to explain and talk to you about how bowling balls are made. So most of us think that bowling balls are created equal. You go to a bowling alley, you pick a ball up, it's got 3 holes in it, and they range from 6 to 12 pound, 6 to 16 pound bowling ball. The bowling alleys usually have them spread out all across the lanes, and I'm a average sized guy, so I would like to try to think I could throw a 16-pound ball. Go to the ball rack, you look at it, man, do you have to be a giant to throw a 16-pound bowling ball? Well, not really. Those are just house balls. They pre-drill 3 holes and they move yourself. Okay, that's great. 16-pound bowling ball, so I usually fit into a 12-pound ball. Those are plastic bowling balls. They're the lowest grade bowling ball that you can have on the market. So what I want to explain to you is they are far from that, and I'll tell you why. They did a study back in 2006. It was Benner, Moores, and Ridnour. It's the best I've seen. They took a bunch of shots and they see what had the highest probability of carrying a strike. Well, the highest probability is 6 degrees. It's a 6-degree anchor angle into the 1-3 pocket. 1 pin being the head pin, 3 pin being the one to the right. So, with that being said, I'll give you a little back history on me. I started bowling ever since I was 5 years old. Picked up a ball, loved the game. Been doing it ever since. My mom kept telling me stories of how I used to be a little guy, and bowling would come on TV on Saturday afternoon, and I'd sit there and I'd watch it, and you couldn't pull me away from the TV. They throwing strikes. I was like, man, I can do that. So I started bowling youth leagues all the way up until today. But when I was young, 18, I was averaging 200. That was pretty good. Had high game. I was 279 when I was 13 years old. So I was like, you know what, I can do this. And then I was like, I need to get a job. So I joined the Air Force. Bowled a little bit, drilled some bowling balls, learned how to work in a pro shop by a pro. Taught me the difference between the different bowling balls and why they're the way they are, and how to fit and drill individuals to fit their hand so they can throw a heavier bowling ball. Um, it was pretty neat. Growing up has been one of my loves. So how's a bowling ball made? To help a bowler increase his probability to strike and pick up spares. So to start, we'll go with the inside of the bowling ball. Let's talk with the cores. The core has usually 2 pieces. You have core, or 3 pieces. You have core, the inner makes of the bowling ball, and the cover stock. I'll cover the cores and the cover stocks. So let's talk a little bit about the cores. I'm going to talk about 3 in general. You have an elliptical core. Just made of different particles. They've used anything from urethane to hard rubber, and they've used some ceramic cores and trying to figure out energy displacement. But the elliptical core is very similar. It's like a round piece inside of a bowling ball. It rolls pretty smooth, goes down the lane, and it'll break just a little bit. But they dabbled around that with a little bit. But then they started, hey, if we make a core a little different, we can have a little bit of tilt, and the ball will roll and tilt a little bit into any direction. So hey, if we get the ball to roll on a different surface of the ball, then we'll pick up oil, and we won't track oil down the lane. So that's pretty neat. And then they dabbled in the size of the core. Who would have thought that made a difference? They had small, compact cores, which tend to go down the lane and be real smooth curving. And then they have real large cores that rapidly tilt the bowling ball, so it flares. It creates a flare on the bowling ball, and it goes on. And it makes a drastic, crazy arc on the back end. It increases if you have a really heavy oil condition. So we talked about a little bit about the cores, and I'm not going to give you big information. There's tons of information out there that you can look into what different cores are for different bowlers. The straighter, the guys who really curve the ball, and the younger people. How can we help them? So now I'm going to talk a little bit about the cover stock.